Whoa. All right. Sorry, I am so late, everybody. I have no idea. YouTube changed like their entire live streaming platform today, apparently. So it was not letting me into it. So I'm gonna give people a couple of minutes to jump on here. We'll see. Um, that was crazy though, so I'm really sorry about that. I did not mean to be as late as I was. I had to go through like four different browsers before it would let me go live though. So here we are. What a time. All right, I'm gonna give it like one more minute, see if anybody else jumps in, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start. Whew. All right. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and start. Looks like we've got a couple people in here, and then obviously this will be posted in Google Classroom for you guys too. I wanted to talk a little bit about Carter style solos and flat picking those. So hopefully you watched the video that I posted in Google Classroom yesterday, the NPR video. That girl does a great job of explaining exactly how this style works. And I think I posted two videos in there. One was of the actual Carter family playing one of the songs that we are looking at this week. So hopefully you've taken advantage of both of those. For your playing test this week, you have the choice of number 57 or 58 in your book, which are the two shorter of the Carter style solos. Row, Row, Row Your Boat is the first one, and then Man of Constant Sorrow is the second one. Excuse me, I would very strongly recommend that if you don't feel like you have a really firm grasp on this, to play 57, because that's the easier of the two pieces. It has only one chord involved in it. The number 58 has like 3 chord changes, and one of those is a really quick change to D minor, which is kind of a hard chord to get to quickly sometimes, and not one that we play very often. So I would recommend 57 if you're on the fence about what to play tomorrow. Okay. So essentially, hopefully, like I said, hopefully you watched the videos and you have learned essentially that the Carter style solo came about so that Mabel Carter could play melody, notes, and accompaniment at the same time. Okay, so that's the style. It's enabling you to play melody and be your own accompaniment. Okay, so I'm going to start with 57, which is Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So you'll see underneath the first two measures and then the first two measures of the second system as well. It says hold C chord. So your left hand fingers are going to stay in that C chord shape. And you're only going to lift up, like the second measure, I'm going to lift up, and you'll see I'm going to play this really slowly and explain what I'm doing as I go. So with my fingers in a C chord shape, I've got C on my A string, and that's my bass note, my root note, right? But I've already got it here, so I don't need to do anything. I can just leave my fingers in this shape. I'm going to play my C, and then essentially I'm just going to play the rest of the chord, so from my D string down, okay? So I've got that happens twice. And then we've got a little bit of melody here. Now the C I already have with my fingers in the C chord shape. So I've got C, and I'm just gonna lift my fingers up to play open D, okay? And then put my fingers back down to play E, and then I'm gonna play the rest of the chord from my G string down. Okay, so that whole measure is going to sound C, lift for D, then put them back for E, and then the rest of the chord. Okay, so the first two measures are going to sound C, E, chord. Okay, then here I'm going to take my fingers up because I've got just a measure of playing notes. So I'm going to play my E, D, E, F, open G, and I'm going to put my fingers back into my C chord shape, and you could even do that while you're playing your open G, and then I'm going to play the rest of that chord, okay, from the G string down, all right? So the last two measures of the first line are going to sound E, D, E, F, open G, chord, chord, okay? So then I move to my second line. I've got C on the B string, which I'm already pushing in my C chord configuration here. So I've got that C. Then I'm going to play the rest of my C chord from the open G string up, open G, the rest of that chord from G string. And then I've got E, which my fingers are already there because of my C chord shape, E on the D string, the rest of the chord from the G string down, C, the rest of the chord from the D string down. Then I've got some notes, open G, F, E, D, put my fingers back in the C chord shape to play C and the rest of the chord from the D string down, okay? So I'm gonna play those two lines for you separately. So I'm gonna play just the first line and explain as I go, and then I'll play just the second line, and then you'll get the gist of the whole song kind of all put together. All right, so starting in my C chord shape, I've got C chord, C chord, C, lift for D, E, chord, E, D, E, E, F, open G, chord, 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 C, chord, G, chord, E, chord, C, chord, open G, F, E, D, back to the C chord. Okay, and that's all over Row Your Boat. All right. Please remember that you can go as slowly as you need to go when you do your playing test, but please make sure that you are keeping a steady beat. So if only play as quickly as you can play the hardest section. So whatever part of that is the trickiest part for you. For a lot of people, it's going to be taking your hand out of that C chord shape to play individual notes and then coming back to the C chord shape quickly. Okay, so make sure that if you need transition time in there, that you build that into your tempo that you are going to choose. Okay. I don't want to hear stops, like a complete stop and then, oh yeah, back to C chord. Okay, here we go, right? Man of Constant Sorrow, number 58, is a little bit trickier. You're going to start in the G chord shape. So in G chord, I'm just going to move my pointer finger down to play E. E, then you've got open D, and then C, you're move down or move over, whatever's easier for you. And then you've got open D, and then a G chord from your open G string up, then open D, then that same chord again, then D, E, D, C, E, G, and we're in a C chord shape now. The rest of the chord from G string up, there's 3 of them. Then open G, C, B, A, and we're in our A minor chord shape here. A, and if you move to that A chord, that A minor chord shape at the beginning of that second measure, then you've already got your A on your G string. Your finger's already there. So you could play A chord, and you're going to play the G string again both times there. So A on the G string, then play the G string down. A, G string down. A, G, F, E. Then we're going to that D minor chord shape. Open D, the rest of your strings, open D, the rest of your strings, open D, and then it bops back around to the beginning. Okay. Wildwood Flower is similar to 58. It's got some chord changes in it. It also has a pickup measure, so please be careful with that as you're playing through. We've got C chord and G chord, mainly back and forth, but it does also throw an F chord in there, the second to the last measure of the third system down. So be careful with that F chord shape, okay? All right, and then I also assigned number 60, which is bass runs this week. So that's on page 32. We're going to talk a lot more about bass runs after spring break. The next week that we're in class, we will be focusing mainly on bass runs. But this is a good little kind of way to get started, and it's I like to teach this at the same time I'm teaching the Carter style stuff because it's very similar. The only difference is that all of your melody notes are going to move in stepwise motion. So it's a lot, very similar to Row, Row, Row Your Boat style. Okay. So this first bass run that we're looking at starts on G. So I'm already playing G. If my fingers are in the G chord shape, I've got G in my low E string. So I'm going to play G the rest of the chord. Then I'm going to play open A, B, C, and then C chord. And then back down to B, A, G, G would be next, and then I'm back to that G chord shape. So all it's doing is leading me into that next chord change, right? If I'm starting at G and moving to C chord, I've got G, A, B, C, right? And then it's leading me back down, B, A, G, and then that would repeat all the way through. Okay, so all the bass run is doing is leading me in stepwise motion to my next, whatever my next chord is, right? A, B, C chord, C, B, A, G chord, right? It's just taking me right in order to my next chord, all right? If you're feeling confident with that and you want to start looking ahead, that's great. 61 takes the chords out of it. So, and I'll go over this more after spring break, but you've got your G, G, A, B, C, right? C, C, B, A, and it's just prepping you for what's coming next, which is putting the chords back into that. And then it starts to get a little bit more complicated, all right? But you do also have tabs for this as well. So that is everything for this week that you need to do. I will be posting PDFs probably later this afternoon. Remember that your playing tests are due tomorrow, as well as practice logs. 40 minutes on the practice logs. Playing test is 57 or 58. And as I said towards the beginning of the video, if you are not feeling 100% confident on this Carter style stuff, I would focus on getting 57 ready because that's the easier of the two pieces, okay? If you have any questions on any of this, you can drop, I will post this in Google Classroom. You can drop a comment below the Google Classroom post, or you can email me. And then remember, also, I'm on Google Hangouts every day from 1 to 3. So if you need to get a hold of me, that's a great way to get a hold of me as well. Okay. All right. I look forward to watching and listening to your playing test tomorrow.